For privacy reasons, names and places have been changed. This story is inspired by true events.
On the evening of July 17, 2007, 28-year-old flight attendant Alina Rahman left a restaurant in the bustling Klang Valley, Malaysia, heading for her car in a riverfront car park. She never reached her hotel. Despite an extensive investigation by local authorities, Alina Rahman vanished without a trace. Her last known communication, a simple text message, offered no clues as to her whereabouts. For 18 years, her loved ones lived with agonizing uncertainty, plagued by unanswered questions. Then, in 2025, a startling discovery was made. Alina's passport and crew badge found hidden under the spare tire of a dust-coated sedan. This is the complete investigation into what happened to Alina Rahman. Before we continue, let us know where you're watching from, and if you enjoy this content, consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Now, let's continue. Alina Rahman, at 28 years old, embodied the spirit of her profession. A flight attendant, her life was a meticulously orchestrated dance of global travel, new cities, and the disciplined routine of airline service. She was known for her vibrant energy, a constant presence on long-haul flights, always ready with a reassuring smile for passengers and colleagues alike. Her career was not merely a job, but a deep-seated passion, allowing her to explore the world while maintaining a close connection to her family and friends back home in Malaysia. She was a woman of routine, her schedule often demanding but predictable, and it was this familiar rhythm that made her sudden deviation from it so profoundly unsettling. The year was 2007, and the bustling urban expanse of Klang Valley, Malaysia, provided the backdrop for what initially seemed like just another ordinary evening. Alina had recently completed a flight and was on a layover, a standard part of her demanding schedule. The evening unfolded predictably. She had enjoyed a relaxed dinner with colleagues, a common occurrence during their time away from the skies. As the night drew to a close, she sent a brief text message, a simple confirmation to a co-worker. She was heading to her car, parked in a riverfront car park, before returning to her hotel. This mundane communication, intended as a casual update, would later become the final verified trace of her presence. The last known intention before her life took an unforeseen turn. However, Alina Rahman never reached her hotel room. The expected arrival, a routine checked-in call, or even just the knowledge of her safe return, never materialized. Her absence was not immediately apparent, but as the hours stretched into the early morning, a quiet unease began to settle. It was her co-worker, Nabila Shah, who first registered the alarming silence. Nabila, perhaps expecting a follow-up message or a brief chat, found her attempts to contact Alina unanswered. The initial concern quickly escalated, transforming from a simple worry into a chilling premonition that something was terribly wrong. The vibrant flight attendant, who had been so visible just hours before, had simply vanished into the night, leaving behind only a digital whisper of her last known intention and a growing void where her presence should have been. The ordinary evening had become anything but. The alarming silence from Alina Rahman quickly transformed into a full-scale missing person report filed with the local authorities in Klang Valley. The initial hours were a frantic race against time, a period where every minute felt critical, holding the potential for discovery or further despair. Police units were immediately mobilized, their primary objective to retrace Alina's last known movements and locate her before the trail grew cold. The gravity of a young woman vanishing without a trace was not lost on the officers assigned to the case. Leading this urgent investigation was Inspector Farid Musa, a seasoned officer whose career had been marked by a quiet tenacity. Musa understood the brutal reality of such cases. The first 48 hours were paramount. His immediate challenge was the sheer lack of concrete information. Alina had simply disappeared between a text message and her hotel room, leaving no witnesses to her departure from the car park, no signs of struggle, and no immediate suspects. The initial search efforts centered on the riverfront car park, the last confirmed location. Officers meticulously combed the area, their flashlights cutting through the pre-dawn darkness, searching for any discarded item, a tire mark, a broken branch, anything that could offer a lead. They interviewed security guards, local vendors, and anyone who might have been in the vicinity, but yielded no substantial information. Despite the intensity of the initial response, the car park offered no immediate answers. Alina's car was not found there, nor were any of her personal belongings. The surveillance footage, where available, was either inconclusive or simply did not cover the specific time and location of her disappearance. This absence of evidence proved profoundly frustrating. The investigation, barely hours old, found itself grappling with limited leads. Theories emerged quickly: a random abduction, a planned departure, or even an accident. Each possibility was explored, but without any corroborating evidence, they remained speculative. The police checked local hospitals, transport hubs, and bus terminals, all to no avail. As the initial days bled into a week, the lack of progress became disheartening. Inspector Musa and his team faced a stark reality. Alina Rahman had vanished, seemingly without leaving a single tangible clue behind, and the case was rapidly hitting a wall. The immediate urgency surrounding Alina Rahman's disappearance, once a burning beacon of hope and frantic activity, gradually succumbed to the relentless march of time. Days bled into weeks, then months, and eventually years. The initial intense police presence at the riverfront car park, the widespread appeals for information, and the media attention all slowly receded, replaced by a devastating, prolonged silence. A decade passed, then nearly two, without a single tangible lead emerging to explain what had become of the vibrant flight attendant. The initial shock gave way to a persistent ache, a wound that never truly healed for those who knew her. For Alina's family, the passage of time brought not solace, but an enduring agony. Each passing birthday, each holiday, served as a stark reminder of her absence, a gaping void in their lives. They were trapped in a cruel limbo, unable to mourn a death that was never confirmed, yet unable to cling to any real hope of her return. The perpetual uncertainty was a torment, fostering a unique form of grief that offered no closure, only a constant, gnawing question mark. Friends like Nabila Shah carried the weight of that last text message, a final, mundane communication before the inexplicable vanished into thin air. As the years accumulated, the active investigation into Alina Rahman's disappearance inevitably transitioned. The once urgent case files, filled with witness statements, inconclusive forensic reports, and dead-end leads, were meticulously catalogued and moved from active desks to the cold case archives. Inspector Farid Musa, who had spearheaded the initial search with quiet determination, found himself with no new threads to pull, no fresh evidence to pursue. The case, once a priority, became a haunting testament to the limits of investigation. When a person simply disappears without a trace, it gathered dust, a thick dossier on a forgotten shelf, a symbol of an unsolved mystery. Despite the fading public memory and the bureaucratic archiving, the central question remained as potent as ever for a dedicated few. What precisely happened to Alina Rahman after she sent that final, unassuming text message on that ordinary night in 2007? The answer remained elusive, shrouded in the mists of an almost two-decade-old enigma, waiting for an unforeseen catalyst to bring it back into the light. 18 years had passed since Alina Rahman vanished from the Klang Valley. The calendar had turned from 2007 to 2025, marking an agonizing span of nearly 2 decades, a period during which her case had remained a cold, static entry in police archives. Then, without warning, a new development emerged from the most unexpected of places, shattering the long-standing silence and injecting a jolt of renewed urgency into a forgotten mystery. The catalyst for this sudden revival was the discovery of an abandoned sedan. Located in a neglected corner of the Klang Valley, the vehicle was a testament to years of disuse, its once vibrant paint now obscured by a thick, uniform layer of dust and grime. Its tires were deflated, and the interior was a mess of debris, suggesting it had been stationary for an extended period, overlooked by countless passers-by. It was a routine police clearance of abandoned vehicles that brought the sedan to official attention, a mundane task that would soon unveil an extraordinary secret. During the standard procedure of preparing the car for towing, a technician, while checking the trunk, made a pivotal discovery. Tucked beneath the spare tire, concealed from casual view and protected from the elements, lay 2 items that immediately transcended the ordinary. One was a Malaysian passport, its blue cover faded, but its photograph still clearly depicting a young woman with a bright, expectant gaze. The other was a distinctive airline crew badge, bearing the logo of a major international carrier. Both items belonged to Alina Rahman. The significance of the find was instantly apparent. Forensic technician Jolene Teo was immediately dispatched to the scene, her team arriving with specialized equipment to meticulously process the forgotten vehicle. Every inch of the sedan became a potential source of information, its dust and decay now holding the promise of answers. Teo understood the immense weight of these artifacts. They were not just possessions, but fragments of a life hidden away, now resurfacing with a powerful message. News of the discovery sent shockwaves through the police department, reaching even those who had long since moved on from the 2007 disappearance. For Inspector Farid Musa, the name Alina Rahman was not merely a cold case file. It was a ghost that had haunted his professional memory for nearly 2 decades. The finding of her passport and crew badge in an abandoned car unequivocally reopened the case. What had been a dormant investigation, relegated to the shelves of history, was now thrust back into the forefront, imbued with a fresh wave of hope and an urgent imperative to finally uncover the truth behind Alina Rahman's vanishing. With Alina Rahman's passport and crew badge recovered, the dust-coated sedan immediately ceased to be merely an abandoned vehicle and transformed into the central piece of a reactivated 19-year-old missing person investigation. Every aspect of the car, from its exterior grime to its innermost components, now held the potential to unlock the mystery of her disappearance. The focus of the new inquiry shifted entirely to this singular, unexpected find. Forensic technician Jolene Teo and her team initiated a meticulous examination of the sedan. The vehicle was carefully transported to a secure facility, where a controlled environment allowed for the most precise analysis. Every surface was systematically processed for latent fingerprints, a painstaking task, given the car's prolonged exposure to the elements and potential contamination. DNA swabs were taken from door handles, steering wheel, seats, and any other area where biological material might have been left. Fibers, hairs, and soil samples were collected, each specimen catalogued with precision, offering a potential link to individuals or locations. The interior was vacuumed, its contents sifted through with extreme care, hoping for any overlooked item or fragment that could provide a clue. The goal was to reconstruct the car's recent history and identify anyone who might have been inside. Simultaneously, a parallel investigative track commenced, focusing on the vehicle's administrative history. Detectives meticulously worked to trace the car's ownership, its registration details, and any recorded transfers. Was this sedan Alina's personal vehicle, abandoned after an incident, or did it belong to someone else, a perpetrator perhaps, used in her abduction? The registration records provided a starting point, leading investigators through a labyrinth of past owners and potential connections. The deliberate concealment of Alina's most personal and identifiable items, her passport and her professional badge, under the spare tire, held immense significance. This was not a casual loss or an accidental dropping, it was a conscious act of hiding, suggesting a clear intent to prevent their discovery. Such an act strongly indicated foul play, transforming the case from a perplexing disappearance into a probable abduction or worse. The items were not discarded but secreted away, as if meant to be hidden indefinitely or perhaps to be found only much later, a chilling detail that resonated deeply with the investigators. The discovery reignited hope for Alina Rahman's family and for the dedicated officers like Inspector Farid Musa, who had carried the weight of the unsolved case for nearly 2 decades. However, this renewed hope was tempered by the formidable challenges inherent in solving a crime almost 2 decades old. Evidence could be degraded, witnesses' memories faded, and potential suspects long gone or untraceable. The passage of time was both a barrier and, paradoxically, a potential ally, as new forensic techniques might now yield results from previously unanalyzable evidence. The new investigation had begun, propelled by a shocking discovery and the enduring question of what truly happened to Alina Rahman. The meticulous forensic examination of the dust-coated sedan, coupled with the persistent investigative efforts to trace its history, began to yield crucial information that transcended the simple discovery of Alina Rahman's personal effects. While Jolene Teo's team meticulously processed every physical trace within the vehicle, another dimension of the investigation was simultaneously unlocking the car's hidden secrets through its electronic footprint. The true breakthrough did not emerge from a single fiber or fingerprint, but from an unexpected digital trail. Investigators accessed and analyzed archived parking meter logs and, more significantly, toll transponder pings associated with the discovered sedan. These seemingly innocuous electronic records, dating back to 2007, painted a compelling picture of the vehicle's movements immediately following Alina's disappearance. The data revealed a shocking and precise pattern. Shortly after the last confirmed sighting of Alina, the sedan's transponder began emitting pings from a highly specific, localized area within the Klang Valley. This was not a random route or a typical journey. The car was repeatedly placed within a defined loop, known informally to law enforcement as a hub for off-the-books repairs and illicit vehicle modifications. This particular area had long been associated with clandestine operations, often involving stolen cars or vehicles undergoing illegal alterations to obscure their identities. This geographical anomaly, captured digitally almost 2 decades prior, combined with the deliberate concealment of Alina Rahman's passport and crew badge under the spare tire, provided the first concrete validation of a long-stalled abduction lead. The initial theories of an accident or a voluntary disappearance, which had dominated the cold case files, were now unequivocally superseded by evidence pointing towards a targeted criminal act. The car's presence in an area notorious for illicit activities strongly suggested that Alina had not merely vanished, but had been forcibly removed, and her vehicle subsequently taken to a location designed for concealment or alteration. For Inspector Farid Musa and forensic technician Jolene Teo, this electronic revelation provided a clear, actionable direction. The case was no longer a nebulous mystery of a missing person. It was now a specific criminal investigation into an abduction, potentially linked to an organized network operating within the off-the-books repairs loop. The focus of the inquiry narrowed dramatically, shifting from the broad search for Alina to a concentrated effort to identify and infiltrate the operations within this newly identified zone, and to uncover who was driving the sedan in the days following her vanishing. The breakthrough had transformed a cold case into a vibrant, albeit challenging pursuit of justice. The meticulous forensic examination of the dust-coated sedan, coupled with the persistent investigative efforts to trace its history, began to yield crucial information that transcended the simple discovery of Alina Rahman's personal effects. While Jolene Teo's team meticulously processed every physical trace within the vehicle, another dimension of the investigation was simultaneously unlocking the car's hidden secrets through its electronic footprint. The true breakthrough did not emerge from a single fiber or fingerprint, but from an unexpected digital trail. Investigators accessed and analyzed archived parking meter logs and, more significantly, toll transponder pings associated with the discovered sedan. These seemingly innocuous electronic records, dating back to 2007, painted a compelling picture of the vehicle's movements immediately following Alina's disappearance. The data revealed a shocking and precise pattern. Shortly after the last confirmed sighting of Alina, the sedan's transponder began emitting pings from a highly specific, localized area within the Klang Valley. This was not a random route or a typical journey. The car was repeatedly placed within a defined loop, known informally to law enforcement as a hub for off-the-books repairs and illicit vehicle modifications. This particular area had long been associated with clandestine operations, often involving stolen cars or vehicles undergoing illegal alterations to obscure their identities. This geographical anomaly, captured digitally almost 2 decades prior, combined with the deliberate concealment of Alina Rahman's passport and crew badge under the spare tire, provided the first concrete validation of a long-stalled abduction lead. The initial theories of an accident or a voluntary disappearance, which had dominated the cold case files, were now unequivocally superseded by evidence pointing towards a targeted criminal act. The car's presence in an area notorious for illicit activities strongly suggested that Alina had not merely vanished, but had been forcibly removed, and her vehicle subsequently taken to a location designed for concealment or alteration. For Inspector Farid Musa and forensic technician Jolene Teo, this electronic revelation provided a clear, actionable direction. The case was no longer a nebulous mystery of a missing person. It was now a specific criminal investigation into an abduction, potentially linked to an organized network operating within the off-the-books repairs loop. The focus of the inquiry narrowed dramatically, shifting from the broad search for Alina to a concentrated effort to identify and infiltrate the operations within this newly identified zone, and to uncover who was driving the sedan in the days following her vanishing. The breakthrough had transformed a cold case into a vibrant, albeit challenging pursuit of justice. The convergence of physical evidence and digital footprints unequivocally confirmed the abduction of Alina Rahman. For nearly 2 decades, her family had grappled with an agonizing void, unsure if she had left voluntarily, met with an accident, or fallen victim to foul play. Now the evidence, though chilling, offered a painful clarity. The ambiguity of her disappearance was replaced by the stark reality of a criminal act, providing a crucial, albeit partial, form of closure. It was a measure of justice, not in the form of an arrest or a final recovery, but in the understanding of what likely transpired. The unwavering dedication of Inspector Farid Musa, who had carried the weight of the cold case for so long, found vindication in these new revelations. Forensic technician Jolene Teo's meticulous work, combined with the power of modern data analysis, had resurrected a forgotten truth from the depths of time. It was a testament to how seemingly insignificant details, archived digital pings and a dust-coated car, could, after years, coalesce to unlock a profound mystery. While the precise fate of Alina Rahman and the identities of those responsible remained unknown, the case had moved from an inexplicable vanishing to a targeted abduction linked to a specific criminal enterprise. This breakthrough injected fresh hope into the ongoing pursuit of justice for Alina Rahman, transforming a cold case into a vibrant, albeit challenging, active investigation.